Brian here with Headrush, and today we're at Guitar Center. I'm really excited to show you all the Headrush Looperboard. This is the world's most powerful looper. It's the first looper to have a 7-inch touchscreen, a custom-designed quad-core processor, massive amount of I/O and storage, built-in effects, 32-bit floating-point audio processing, and more. Today, I'm going to take you on a tour of the Looperboard, the really cool features, and then we're going to do a little bit of looping. So starting from left to right, we got the master volume, we got the headphone volumes, the aux volume, and then over on the right side, we got 4 independent gain controls for the 4 inputs on the back. Over here, we have a large encoder knob. This is great for making small adjustments to things like tempo. Then below that, we have the master section. You have first the start and stop all. This is perfect for starting all your loops or stopping them. You have a built-in effects. Below, we have the function button. So when you press this, you're gonna see everything turn orange, and this opens up the secondary features of the foot switches. You can see what these are by looking at the orange text on the Looperboard or looking right on the screen, and you're gonna see the 8 blocks, and these are gonna be controlled by the 8 foot switches right here. Next to that, we have tap tempo, and what's really cool, if you hit the function button you get your Headrush tuner. Don't leave home without it. So on the right side here, you get your 4 tracks. The top, you get your stop and undos. The bottom, you get your record, play, and overdubs. So let's check out the back panel I/O. First, you're gonna see 4 inputs. These are 1/4" and XLR, and you can also run phantom power with it from the built-in controls. Next to this, you have your aux input. This is great for connecting MP3 players or phones. Then we have your headphone output. Next, you have your 4 outputs. You got 1/4" and XLR outputs. Next to this, you have your expression pedal input for controlling things like the whammy effects in the effects. Then MIDI in, out, and through. Then you have your storage locations. You get SD card input and 2 USB thumb drive inputs. And then last, you have your USB computer connector. This is great for connecting to a computer so you can back up your loops or doing things like firmware updates. So when you first power on the Headrush Looperboard, you're gonna be on this screen here called the timeline view. This view is amazing because you can see your waveforms being created in real time. This is great for seeing where you are inside of your loop or seeing your start and end points. Next in the middle, you're gonna see import audio. When you tap on this, you're gonna get selections for factory, internal, or if you have a thumb drive connected, USB. If you tap on factory, you get the amazing amount of loops that we included with the Headrush Looperboard. There's over 300 of them. To the left here, you get your track names. You can also double tap on these, name them whatever you want. Then at the bottom here, you get your looper modes. You first get fixed, serial, sync, serial and sync, and then the ultimate free mode. So let me tell you about these modes. So at the bottom of the timeline view, you're gonna get 5 different modes. You get fixed, which is really cool because it's a mode where, let's say you create one loop, and then all the other loops are gonna be the same length as that loop. And what's fun is that you can record, overdub, or play any of them at any time you want. Next to this, you have serial mode. Serial mode is a mode where you can record on 1 track at a time. It's great for creating like a verse-chorus type of arrangement. It's great, so if you're a songwriter, this is probably really good for you. Next is sync mode. Sync mode is something I really like, where I create one loop, and then all the other loops are gonna be the same length as that loop, or a multiple of that, but they're all gonna start recording once that first loop has come back around. So basically, if you're like, you're preparing a track there, and you're getting ready to play, it's not gonna record the noise or anything like that. It's just gonna start right on that tempo there, which is really cool. Next is serial sync. This is similar to serial, where you can record on 2 tracks at a time. So if you're a songwriter and want to create verse choruses, but a little bit bigger at that same time, this is a great mode for you. Next is free mode, which is literally that. No rules, go crazy, it's super fun. So now at the top of the screen, you're gonna see some icons here. The first one you're gonna see is your tempo. You can make fine-tuned adjustments with the encoder knob, or you can make adjustments with the tap tempo and see it happen in real time. Next to this, you get what we call the meter page. This is where, if I start it, you see the volume of your track going, and you can turn it up or down really easily by swiping on this. And then here, you can also double tap on the track names and name them whatever you want. Next, we have the mixer page. This is really similar to something like a DAW, where you can also control the volumes of the tracks, but you could also pan the tracks anywhere you want, left, right, or anywhere in between. What's really neat here is that you can double tap on the pans, and you can still swipe on this, or you can make fine-tuned adjustments with things like the encoder knob. Over to the right here, You also have volume control for the click track and for your backing track. All right, so the next one here, we got effects. The Headrush Looperboard has the most powerful effects processing for any looper out there. You can have access to over 30 effects at a time. Let me show you how it works. So we set these up like racks. You get 4 racks here, so let's hit the plus icon, and you get 6 icons here. You're gonna get effects for vocals, guitar, lo-fi, dub, drum, and studio. I got a guitar on, so let's make some guitar effects. Tap on that, and you get a range of presets here. So let's choose one of these. Let's see what Rhythm Atmos sounds like. Pretty spooky, kind of ambient. So the Headrush Looperboard also has some really powerful delay stuff. You can do ping pong stuff, so when you put it in your headphones, you just get lost in this world of delay. It's super fun. Let's make one like that. So I'm gonna turn off my overdrive, turn off the modulation, but leave the reverb and delay on. I'm gonna slow down this delay time, something like a quarter note, turn up that feedback, turn up the mix a little bit. Now put it on your headphones, check this out. Pretty spooky. Imagine what you could do when you combine that with modulations and stuff like that. Really bubbly, weird effects, just go crazy. So another cool delay thing you could do here is maybe speed this up a little bit, maybe even turn the feedback up even more. I turned off the reverb. You can even slide the feedback down in real time so you have control of it. Pretty cool. Let's go crazy with this. Use your imagination. So at the bottom of the effects screen, you get 2 options here. You get foot switch assign and expression. So check out the first one here. This is where you could turn these effects switch into momentary or latching, or you could just have certain effects turn on within each rack. It's really powerful if you want to do something that's similar to the pedal board, like scenes. Next is your expression control. So if I had an expression pedal connected, I can assign it to different effects that are inside. Just hit the plus. And right now I have a guitar effect, so I can choose guitar. And then you're gonna get all the options that you have inside that effect screen. So let's say I'm like, man, I really wanna have a whammy pedal because I love doing those Tom Morello like wee-wees. Easy. Choose whammy range. Right here, you can go 0 to 100, easy. Next, you have your disc icon. Really straightforward. It's for saving your loop. Name it whatever you want. And then you have your menu screens. So the Headrush Looperboard has the most powerful audio routing of any looper out there. So let's check it out. Tap on audio routing, and you're gonna get 4 selections on the right-hand side. You got input, monitor, track, and output. So on each of these pages, you can have either volume controls, you can have panning controls, and then you're gonna also have output controls where you can send things out, just one output, all 4 outputs, or just discreetly to your headphones. You totally choose whatever you want to do. Next, we got loop settings. This page is great because you see your tempo here. You can change with the encoder knob or just tap it right in, really easy. Then you can choose your time signatures. You get everything from 2/4 all the way up to the zany 15/8, whatever you want. And then you got your click track controls. You can have click track off. You can have it on while you're only recording, or you can have it on while you're recording and playing. Remember that the click track is totally assignable, so you can have it just going to headphones, and no one's gonna know that it's always going. Next is your count in. You can have count in off, turn it on, and you can have 1 bar all the way up to 4 bars of count in if you really need that. Next is your Quantize settings. This is super powerful. So if you turn this on, you can set the loop length from 1 bar all the way up to 64 if you want. And then if you're quantizing on, you can choose from 1 bar all the way up to 16th notes. What this is gonna do, it's gonna quantize your beginning and end points. So let's say you may have ended a little early at the ending of your loop. It's gonna stretch it out for you and put it right into grid. Really cool. Below that are your time stretch settings, so you can sync the audio to tempo and also make sure it's on to time stretch. Pretty straightforward. And then last here, I'm gonna cover a little bit of the global settings. So what's really neat, you can see your storage limit. Right now you see I have over 8 hours. You can customize things like start, stop all to either return or pause, or after record to play or overdub. Over here you got some MIDI settings, and here is your USB audio settings. You can turn the Headrush Looperboard into a 2-in, 2-out USB audio interface at 2448. And then last, you You got your audio settings for turning fan and power on or off, or even applying a ground lift. So let's get into a little bit of looping. The first thing I have set up here is one of the built-in drum samples. I have a psych rock drum sample in here. Let's check it out. All right, I think I could do something with that. So I got some effects here. The first one is kind of like a chorusy, delay, clean tone, I guess you'll call it. Let's check it out. All right, the next one here is, I did something neat. I used a whammy pedal to pitch it all the way down and turn it into a bass. See what that sounds like. All right. Next is your traditional kind of screaming lead. See what that sounds like. So now that you've heard those sounds, let's put it all together and make something cool. So there you have it. That's the Headrush Looperboard. Check it out at your local Guitar Center or on guitarcenter.com.